Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, child. Ooh, child. Can anybody hear me? Hey, Spicy Dicey. How are you today? Child, I had a few minutes and I decided to hit that like button because I had been over there hanging around in the clouds over there at VS's and I'm getting my LIFE. I named this video, Ooh Child, when jumping in the deep end and no, you can't swim. And I think Envy done fucked up and jumped in the deep end of the beef sector. Poor thing, you didn't know what you was doing, Envy. I'm poor thing. They finna they getting ready to take you through there. You hear me? Envy, you done fucked up and jumped in the deep end of the beef sector, baby. And I don't think you're gonna be able to swim through these waters. I don't think you're gonna be your heart ain't gonna be able to take it because once BS get her teeth into you and start shaking you around, all kind of people from the B sector gonna come and they gonna get a little nibble of that ass right now. And it all started with a little, I'm gonna say white, because you know you half white and uh you think you ain't black. Why you tell BS that you didn't know Deidre? That was the dumbest little white lie you ever told. But you know what? You finna get a black ass whooping from BS on it. I don't know why you told her that lie. You lied like you didn't know Deidre. Dee Dee Loot Loot, Gigi, Deidre, aka 100,059 other personalities. And she giving the crying Deidre right now on her live. She giving the laughing Deidre. She's giving the frightened. She gonna play that frightened Deidre. She gonna wear that bitch out on you. Because she wearing it out on you now. And BS was, oh no, don't talk. You ain't got to do that. Well, and then BS gets right back to the point though. We're gonna steer you right back over here where I want to talk about what this man say he didn't know you. And y'all got all these. Now me and Trish retarded ass had an argument. Now y'all know I don't know nothing about what DMs is. I don't know what it took me about 3 years to learn what backstage was. Hell, I'm just saying I'm not tech savvy. When I say text, it could mean a DM. It could mean whatever the other stuff they say how they get in touch with each other and it's over the internet. I say text. And if you know how I talk, you know how I talk. But I don't even feel like talking about Trish right now. That's a dumb ass black ass bitch. But BS had asked, well, she went live earlier. And when she was live, she kept saying, I asked him, did he know Deidre? And he said no. He don't know that lady. I ain't never talked to that lady. He said that. Now, the fool, when BS had asked you a question, she already know the damn answer. That's like with most people. A lot of times people will ask you a question even though they already know the damn answer. They just want to hear you say it. Well, that fool said he didn't know Deidre. That's what he told BS. And BS kept saying that on her goddamn lie today. And I was saying, oh shit. Then she started showing text messages from Deidre and Envy. And I was saying, oh shit. BS. Now if you tell me a little lie, I know you'll tell me a big one. You know, and that's just if a person tell you a little lie when they ain't got the lie. Well, you know what the hell they do with a big one. And so after I watched BS live, I seen it. Well, Lemon popped up. I ran over there just for the hell of it. And Lemon, I can't think of what he was talking about. And when he said open the, told people they get the link, I hit the link, but I couldn't get up there. And so I had to go down and you know how it is sometimes. Sometimes you don't connect. Okay, well, by the time when I was waiting to go up there, I seen Trisha hit the link. And so they was talking about some things. And I said, well, maybe Trisha talk about what I got a question about. Well, Trisha didn't talk about that. And it took me a minute to get back up on stage. So when I got up there, I told them I'm going on mute so you guys can get through talking. Then I'll ask what I got to ask. So they was, oh no, no, that's all right. And so me and Trish had words back and forth and stuff, and that got okay. I ain't got nothing really against them. I don't fuck with the black bitch, but okay, all right. So I asked Lemon, I said, Lemon, are you aware like of what's going on with Envy and BS? BS said she asked him, do he know Deidre? He said no. And come to find out he do. And BS was over there dropping receipts showing that he do know this lady. He been talking back and forth with Deidre, come to find out, ever since 2024. And then to 2025. And I'm thinking it might have been a text or two in 2026. I don't know. But I had questions to Lemon. I said, well, Lemon, I say, I don't know if you know this. I said, I think it's a story is brewing. It's gonna be a big one over in the beef sector in a minute because Envy lied like he don't know Deidre to BS, and BS keeps saying, why did he lie? It was a little lie. It was white. And honey, well, while we was up there bullshitting, talking back and forth, they says BS had put something on her community wall. And I was saying, well, I ain't going to check. Somebody come back and say what it is, because I was having fun up on the panel. Well, then they said BS had went live. And you know what we did? It's immediately stop this live and go over there to hear what the hell BS talking about. Well, when I got the BS, her live was going off, so I got that, the little circle thing that be going around. And I said, let me get out this her community wall real quick. Then I seen Deidre, at Deidre's at Class Culture. And I said, let me click that because see, I'm not subscribed to Deidre anymore. I'll talk about that later. The reason I'm not, but because I want to stay on track. But when I got over there, of course, Deidre was doing that thing that she could not talking like that. And I was saying, oh shit, I got the goddamn crying, damn Deidre. I don't know how long this shit gonna go on. And so then she pulled herself together because BS like bring her back to what the fuck we talking about. Okay. And honey, let me get my notes, child. Let me get my notes, child. Let me get my notes on it. Well, child, when I got over there, BS was up there giving her more support because she was doing a little crying off and on thing. Well, come to find out, Deidre was saying she some kind of way she was in the hospital and they took her phone and all that. Now, Deidre, if they took your phone, did they have you on the 5150? I don't know where they took her phone, but that ain't important. Okay. She said that I put on her envy, you in danger. I put that because I started to put that as my um the heading on my video, but I changed it. Okay. And she said that Envy and her had been talking back and forth through, I'm going to say text, even though whatever. Well, because I'm going to say everything text when I be talking. Because I don't know what Instagram, what DMs and all the other things. I don't know what that shit mean. Hell, I'm old. I'm doing good to be going live. And she said that she was supposed to go to Atlanta. And and she said, I'm a professional massage therapist. I guess she got her license in that. Well, the people in YouTube, like us, it was gonna pop up on the screen like they be on Envy Live. He gonna be laying on a massage table, and she was gonna give him a massage. Now, how the hell that came up, I don't know. But this is how the live was supposed to go. Like when him and RNY did the Halloween thing, they were supposed to do one on February the 13th of, I guess, like them hooking up or something. It was going to be February the 13th, 2025. So that's before RNY time. I guess. I don't know. And so when they was doing that, she was calling it a gag, but I'm calling it a play. Well, so they working at the way they getting ready to get to this. So she said, well, Envy, that'll be cool because I got people that live, I have people that live in Atlanta, so I can stay with them. We could do our little gag and then we can go, I can go my way, you can go your way. And she asked him, was he going to buy her flight? He told her no. He was going to cover her lodging. And she was like, wait a minute. I don't need to stay with you. I told you I got people that live there. You're not going to buy my flight? No. I say, well, shut your mouth and keep on talking, child. Now, Deidre, that when you said that, it just clicked in my mind. He did MU the same way, y'all. He told MU he was letting her come out there to like ease her mind because she was going through the drugs, trying to get clean up dope and stuff, and blase this and blase that. And they were supposed to be doing some business together. Well, he had her passwords and everything. MU gave him all her shit, y'all. And it was a big ass mess. But I think he was gonna do some shit like that with Deidre. And it didn't work out. And so Deidre said that when she kind of got, when it kind of clicked in her mind that I ain't getting no money out of nothing. I'm to spending all this time, IG and a texting or whatever the fuck they was doing. She said that she was saying, when I'm gonna get paid. He was like, paid? Y'all, Deidre said she was spending like 89 hours. Like on StreamYard, he called it his office. Like you talk to him in his office after hours. Like when he not alive. So you go back to the office and you talk to him for like hours and hours and hours. I don't know what the fuck they was talking about because ain't nobody gonna keep me on nothing. No hours and hours and hours. But I could see some truth in that because y'all remember when he was supposed to move them strikes off of Lemon, he was telling Lemon he had spent hours and hours, like 11 hours or something, trying to work on that strike that he didn't remove, Lemon had removed. And I was saying, all this hours and hours and hours shit, And she said they would be on these StreamYard and he would be talking like text stuff. If it was more than one person, he would send each person a different link, and it would seem like you're on one with Envy, but it's actually other people listening in on what you're talking about. And I was saying, damn, I ain't want to get him about. See, I don't do that shit. I ain't no. Mm-mm. And she said he would talk text stuff if it was more people on there. But if it was like you and him, it would be more intimate. You would talk about like what's going on YouTube and all of that. Envy, you need to stop. That's too goddamn much. But see, Deidre, one thing that she got going for her is that she know a lot about theater. Her ex-husband was like a producer or something like that. But she could tell, like, she knew what the fuck time it was. She wasn't no fool like he thought she was, child. Well, she said that when she told him, because he was wanting to keep her like on the down low, like don't let nobody know. I guess he doing other people like that. I don't have time for that bullshit. But she said that she wasn't getting nothing out of this, spending take hours and hours doing whatever they were doing. And she said he was telling her how to wear her hair and that she was beautiful. And you need to wear your hair this way and not that way and all of that. And she said that Deidre wear a lot of wigs. She was saying she was doing her natural hair, like you putting it behind this ear or do whatever the fuck they was doing. I don't know. And he was telling her how beautiful she was. You need to sit closer to the camera. Yeah, like that. I scoot back some and all that. So whatever when they were looking at each other, okay. The VS did ask her that they sitting, doing explicit stuff back there, like show your titty or your booty or whatever. She said no. She said, but she did show him like upper thigh, like upper thigh action. Now, why they, I guess he was telling her how to sit. I don't know. Oh my God, this stupid. And so she said it when she told him that it wasn't working out, whatever they were trying to do. And me can't be bothered with sitting on these, I guess, this office shit for hours and hours at a time. I don't do this no more. She said he jumped up. He went to like a cabinet and she said he pulled out a bazooka and he was throwing up his middle fingers up in the air at her and all that kind of stuff and saying stuff. And I was saying, what? He said, I don't want to be in the office with you no more. You gonna pull a gun out and give me all these middle fingers and talking about how you kick niggas' asses and wait a minute, what else he said? Wait a minute. She said he was conflicted, and for some reason she kept bringing Lolo name up. So I don't know if Lolo hanging around over there at Envy's or not. I don't know, but some reason she kept bringing Lolo name up. Now BS had questions for Lolo, and Deidre said she probably won't answer. She said, yeah, she'll answer me. So it's something to do with Envy. The question that BS gonna have for Lolo, it's gonna be something to do with Envy. And she says she got more information. She will be releasing it tomorrow. She also said that she had proof of when he went and got that bazooka and was talking about what he'd do, how he had beat niggas and stuff before. And he in like a motorcycle gang and all that kind of bullshit and it come up. And I was saying, shut your mouth and keep on talking. But I knew this was going to lead to somewhere when BS did that live earlier today and was saying how Envy had told her that lie. like he didn't know Deidre. And come to find out, I know that VS already knew the answer to that question before she asked Envy. And now she got all these receipts dropping, and allegedly Deidre got said she won't release the video of Envy going to that cabinet, but she gonna release pictures, like snapshots of what he was doing. Did she say he was doing like throwing his middle finger up and holding a bazooka and all of that kind of bullshit? Envy, I think you done effed up. I tried to warn you. I don't know if it was my last live or a live before that. You was getting too comfortable over here on how you was telling you know, saying crazy shit to the big dogs, the beef sector, the OGs, or the people that's been there forever. Like you had said in other words, you were gonna dox Bizarro. Uh, you know, you were like throwing veiled threats around, different things you have done to Lemon, different things that you now the BS and Deidre shit. It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a good road for you. Um, Deidre is demanding an apology from you. I don't know if VS will demand an apology for you lying to her, but like I said, I think you done jumped off in the deep end of the goddamn beef sector, and we gonna see how you can swim, baby. So you may as well you better mount up right now. It ain't gonna just go away. And they say when they were trying to talk to you about it on your live earlier, Envy, they said that you kept going back to Mia. But see, Mia is not in this. This is between what BS asked you about Deidre and your reply to BS. And then, like when she was live, you were saying like counteracting the things that VS was saying on her live, like trying to make it look like maybe VS was. I'm not gonna say lying, but I'm gonna say lying because, see, like I said, if you've been in the B sector, we all know that Deidre go by different names. That class culture, that's some. Like when I clicked on the thing on VS Community Wall, it had at class culture. When I clicked that took me to Deidre, and it had class culture. So we know that's Deidre, the people that's been here a long time. The people that's been here a long time, we know DD Loop Loop. That's Deidre. James gave her that name. Mother gave Deidre that name. We know her as Deidre. The people in the beefing sector. A lot of people that's not from the beefing sector, y'all don't have a clue. But the people that's been here, we have a clue. So, you be communicating or whatever y'all doing with these people, you don't know what the F you effing with. And it's not just with VS, it's with others, that you might want to be closer to, be behind stage with. You don't know what you're doing. But just the newer people, keep an eye on this story with VS and Envy and Deidre. You'll learn a lot about how YouTube works in these different sectors. It's a method to the madness. And some of the newer people, y'all are finding out that it's a method to the madness. And I am getting my life. This shit kicked out like in the late evening. And I've been just keeping an eye on it, you know. And honey, I can't wait till tomorrow to see what else Deidre got. But envy that getting these ladies to fly out or whatever and stay with you for the weekend. I'm sure there'll be others that'll do it, but you better be careful when you picking around this beef sector, picking around at these women, cause honey, they don't play nice. And Deidre is basking in this. She's gonna have a ball She's not gonna let this go. Period. VS is not gonna let this go. Period. And the beef sector's not gonna let this go. Period. Ooh. This just dropped out of the sky and for me. It's Paulette. Go. I met you in this life. Crazy. Hey Rex. Let me speak. Hey Pressure. How you doing? Thank you for coming by, Pressurelicious. Beef sector. Eat nuts. Fuck the back door sector. The kickback queen. Shall. Hey Rule Shaker. Shall, I'm getting my life in the beef sector tonight. And I just had to leave Deidre's. I said, let me go over here because I keep saying I'm gonna go live, and I'm gonna do it right now. Because if I wouldn't have, because I started to look through YouTube, and there was some shit going on over there in Mo3 said, but I said, nope, don't even click into the lives. Get your ass out of here and stay and go live. Okay? Lying Deidre. Now Deidre do tell some lies, but hey, Deidre got the receipts this time, baby. Spicy Dicey, we know Deidre. But Deidre got the goddamn receipts this time, girl. Yeah. Hey, Rodney. Hey, Bees and Cornbread. Spicy Dicey. We all know Deidre tell lies. Okay? We all know that she doxed the whole beef sector. And she was attempting to tell a lie over there at VS's like she didn't do that. But we know that she doxed the whole beef sector to ZX. Because she was sweet on ZX. We know what Deidre will do. Ooh, Lord. Hey, Joe. I can't wait till tomorrow, y'all. Now, this kind of shit I like. Hey, Big Walking the Dog. Hey, Rodney. But Poe Envy, you thought you wanted to be over here in the goddamn beef sector. Hunter, the beef sector finna sector out for you, child. The beef sector is finna sector out for you. So you may as well get ready. And you wanted it. You wanted to be over here in the beef sector. Okay. Okay. And that's why I said about a lot of these goddamn people that be fucking around over here. Y'all were getting in real easy because the beef sector was not like this before. It was hard to get accepted over here. But I see now they doing the arm and hammer. You getting ready to get the real beef sector work out. Because they used to work your ass over before you got, and then you still wasn't be up in here. After they done beat and kicked you and did everything they could do to you, then they would just throw you away. Ooh, child. Hey, gorgeous George. I'm about to be in the sleep sector in 20 minutes. I know it, child. And I'm going to be on here for a while because I got a lot of shit to talk about that I hadn't talked about since the last time. I usually come on here about, I was trying to do once a week, but I just can't do that. Let me see. Yeah. But now Deidre trying to say, well, she trying to word it like she didn't dox the entire beef sector. But we seen it. ZX showed us. He showed us. You know, it is what it is. We could think it, but once a person show us, like Deidre showed the receipts from Envy, you know. So that's what she doing what ZX did to her, to Envy. Okay. All right, now I would, I hangs around at Lemons and stuff, but I haven't been like I used to. But cause the Mo3 sector been so much been going on over there. But I do try to get Lemons replays. So one day I went over to Lemons and it was like Ken was up there, the mayor of Detroit, think ZX. It was several guys up there, and it was a voice I had never heard before. And then it was like Audio knew him, but I was saying, what was this? Well, come to find out, it was Audio daddy. He went and got his daddy again. I don't know why you keep going to get your daddy, Audio. But if you want to keep getting your daddy to come on here and help you fight, more power to you. But make the man get some money out of it, because he he getting ready to go down a bad hole concerning the B sector, because you know how the B sector do. They're gonna dox the shit out of him and everything else. But for some reason, he went and got his daddy, and his daddy was arguing with him, and his daddy was against ZX, Ken, the mayor of Detroit, and anybody else you could think of. They was having round for round for round over there. I really didn't get it, but I got the fuck on. But they say it was some good entertainment, you know. But they said they were dragging, but I wasn't really interested in that. Now VS, let me see. Now some kind of way the other day, like when I went to VS, because I go there whenever I have time. If she's live, I'll jump in there to see what she's talking about and jump back out because she's more active in the beef sector now. And that's why I'm paying more attention to her. I'm glad to see her back. I'm glad to see her doing what she's doing. Just as long as she don't do too much, because sometimes, but I'm liking the VS that we got back this time. She getting out here active on the panels and trying to drag. And BS could never drag, but she's attempting to. And I think that's good, BS, that you getting out here doing that. And I'm enjoying it. But she was talking about Shaun G name the other day, and my ears perked up. Well, she said that everybody was saying that she had called the prison on Shaun G, and she had kept saying that she did not do that. And 88 was saying that she did not do that. Well, they were saying that studies saying that VS had called the federal prison on Shaun G. And then he had said something about, he was on like a dating show over there on Mink's channel. And he said something about toe tagging VS. And so she said when he started talking about toe tagging, because you get toe tagged when you're in the mortuary here. It's how they keep the body up with the bodies. They say, I don't know if they actually put toe tags on people. But when he started talking like that, it kind of scared her a little bit. So she did call the federal prison, gave them the timestamp, and sent them the information on him being on YouTube while in federal lockup, which is a no-no. And she said, yeah, he's threatening my life right now. When she was talking to whoever she was talking to on the phone at the feds, and they were saying, no, he's not on no YouTube. He's not live. And she was saying, yes, he is. Here's the link. And so when they found out he was in the federal penitentiary on live on YouTube, they had to handle him accordingly. Okay, and the man reassured VS this will not happen again. He will not be saying anything against you from our facility. And if he do, all you got to do is give us a call. Okay, so all that bullshit had been going on when Shaun G was locked up. And I do remember that. But I didn't know like the core what happened. So I got VS side of it. And Shaun G ain't gonna talk no shit about that. But yeah, he was being on live. But you know what? He was on lives after that though. Because Mink would, he would call Mink and she'd be on the phone talking to him. But he never did make no threats against toe tag and VS no more. But I'm through with that. I just wanted to catch the people up that if you did hear about that in her live, I'm just reporting on it because that's what I do is talk about what I see out here in the YouTube streets. I don't think VS and Shaun G have any contact with each other. There's no reason. I'm bringing them up and about them up. And she said she ain't gonna be hanging around over there in the Mo 3 sector. She ain't lost nothing over there. She ain't gonna be going around over there like she used to. You know, she left there a long time ago. Like when they denounced her, that it was very embarrassing to her. And so that's why I know she ain't going back over there. But she's still cool with Cam. Trying to think, she cool with 88 still. I don't know. You know who else? But I know she like Cam a whole lot. You know, because they went to Vegas. I'm sure she still talked to 88 because 88 was in Vegas. I don't know, but I'm just glad to see VS about moving around. And like I said, as long as she don't do too much, I think she'll be just fine. You know, because it is what it is. Trying to see if there anything else I missed. Now I'm sure I missed some stuff in the B sector, but like I say, I haven't been up here very much. Because the Mo 3 sector has been on fire. Okay. So let's get over to the Mo 3 sector. Well, what was going on when I left? When I came to the beef sector tonight. Well, to early today. Uh Trying to think how to do this trying to okay, the big story that's going on over there right now is with 80, I mean with Big Baby, Jackie, and the captain. Okay. When Big Baby got out of prison, out of jail, because she went to jail for like 6 months and she just got out. She haven't been out a week. Well, when she got out of jail, well, when she went into jail, Brandon and Jackie was not getting along. But she tried to stay cool with both of them. But it's kind of hard in some friendship to be cool when like two of your friends is into it. Well, when Big Baby came out of jail and hit her live button, you know, Jackie and everybody ran over there. Everybody ran over there, welcoming her back home. Well, one of the first people over there was the captain. He was up there and he was telling her, "Go on and drag me. I know y'all gonna drag me." And they was kind of ignoring him and had very little talk for him. Well, Big Baby got tired of being nice, so she let him know, yeah, I don't fuck with you. That's what she let him know in so many words. And I was saying, oh shit. Because I thought when she came out, she was gonna try to remain neutral, but no. Jackie was her person that she talked to on the phone the whole time she was locked up. They talked daily. And that adds up. But Jackie was there for her. Anytime she called, she would try to answer. You know. And I'm sure that Jackie was telling her different things that Brandon was saying while she was locked up. Cause she wasn't gonna be locked up forever. She was gonna get out. Okay. So they've been pressing the gas hard on each other. Brandon going at them and they going at Brandon. The drag fest stuff, but that played out really quick. Then we go to the next level. Well, the other night at Lax, because Lack and Captain been into it. Well, Lack put a picture up of a lady, and he thought it was like Brandon's auntie or something like that. And he had her like comparing her to how she looked, and she looked like a dog. You know how they say some people favor animals? Well, he found this skinny faced dog, and the dog was her color and all of that. Well, throughout after that live that Lack did over in the wee hours of the morning, because Lack come on at night, all night show. We have an all night show. Well, when that live went off, some kind of way, somebody like a subscriber knew the woman that was on that. And so they got in touch with the lady's sister and said, "Hey, such and such is up on. I just want to let you know that I seen her picture up on YouTube." And of course, Brandon seen it. Well, Brandon had contacted the family and said, "Hey, if some people from YouTube start contacting you, just blow that shit off. It don't mean nothing. Don't put nothing into that." Well, this stuff just kept working up and kept working up and kept working up. And so then the lady contacted Big Baby, and so they started talking. And so they scheduled. The lady said, Big Baby said, "How much would it cost you to come on my channel and like to talk to the people?" And she said she didn't really know. She'd say $200. And so then Big Baby started trying to. This lady is somebody that actually knew Brandon. So Big, Big Baby like told the audience, "Hey, the lady, if y'all come up with $200, I can get this lady on here. Y'all gonna ask questions about Brandon." Well, Brandon, he was laughing. He heard Big Baby them saying they needed $200 for this lady to talk to them. Well, Brandon got on his lab and he was telling the lady, "You better not get up there. You don't want to do this. You don't want to get up there and do you don't need to talk to them. This ain't like the streets. You don't need to get up there. And it's not gonna be good for you," because I was going back and forth between the live. And Brandon was talking to the woman because she was in his chat, and he was saying he was telling her all kind of shit gonna be that came out. You don't need to do this. And the woman was typing back to him all of that, and I was saying, "Oh my God." Well, the next thing I know, Big Baby was live, and they say the woman was over there on Big Baby live. And immediately I went over there, and it was the worst shit. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I didn't know how to put this in words, okay? So I'm just gonna glaze over it, okay? Allegedly, in Brandon and this lady, their relationship is that Brandon's pawpaw, which is his grandfather, Brandon's grandmother and him was married. But see, he had been married before, so he had other children. So, like when he came to Brandon's grandmother, he, like as far as family wise, they was accepted like as aunts and uncles, and you my pawpaw and this and that. But if you haven't had a step family, if you had a step family, you'll understand it because I was raised in a step family. We know we're not brothers and sisters. We're considered step. So you know how when you get together at your pawpaw house or your grandmama house, your pawpaw side, his side of the steps are coming, and then your grandmother's, their side of the steps is coming. So you got two different like family outlets. Well, that's how they would all get together. You can all get together and be playing as kids. Your kids don't know no better. Yes, that's my cousin. That's Aunt Paulette. Even though I'm actually not your aunt, you're raised as I'm your aunt. So it was a lot of that kind of situation going on when Brandon was raised. Okay, uh, and that's how it is with step families. Like my little step nieces and nephews, they don't know nothing about that's my concerning me. They just call me Aunt Paulette. They don't learn about that step shit until they get big. They are just kids, and that's your cousin, and that's how you do the kids. Well, allegedly in Brandon's situation, they're saying that Brandon messed around with one of the kids. Like the little step ones, what you call them, all cousins. When the girl got grown, he messed with her. Now, Ghetto Intellect, he had wrote in the chat, they're not kin, so that don't matter. Well, like in my family, We don't go for that shit. You just cause they grown, you can date them. Even though that ain't your cousin. Technically, you were raised as like first cousins and shit. Like they that ain't gonna happen in my family. Then you ain't finna date now one of these little kids. No. It's just a messed up situation. It was a lot of like Papa touching on kids, like his stepdaughters, and just a bunch of sex in the family wise, like incestual. I wasn't gonna try to keep up with that shit. It got too motherfucking deep for me, and I I my light bulb just go out, because I don't want to hear about all that shit. Um, it needs to come out. A lot of the family secrets that go on in some families, but that was a bit much. You know, like saying your brother's a predator and really mean it. Not just saying it out your mouth like they do on here. When this lady was purging, no. See, it's so many different ones. Messy auntie. I look on my wall, on my community wall. I got Big Baby all them on my community wall. It's Big Baby Cabrina. Yeah, they all was. It was too much of that going on. They didn't have no boundaries, and they wasn't raised. Evidently, some raising wasn't right because, like I said, I'm from a step family. My mother had like 7 kids, and her husband that she married, the man she married had like 8. They was both young widowers. They never had children together. But that's a lot. You think about it, that's a lot of children in a house. And then when we got grown, we started having children. We don't say that's your step cousin right there. That's just your cousin. Or we don't say that's your step auntie, that's your auntie. You treat all your aunties the same. You treat all your uncles the same with respect. And it don't ain't no getting grown and y'all date. Cause that's nasty. Cause y'all was raised up skipping and jumping and chunking rocks and you know, you know, you do things like when the weekend come, you know, you get to go out to the country and play with your cousins and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm just saying I was raised that I raised with a big family, and like I said, that didn't even cross our mind. Like to when we get grown, we gonna date. We dating in high school. That's my boyfriend. No, it was that's unimaginable. Like my mother and my stepfather would roll over in their graves 50 times. Just the thought of some shit like that. Like when we get together now, it ain't no that's my step nephew. No, that's your nephew. That's my nephew. I ain't got to say no step. But it was a lot of lines crossed. It was a lot of secrets kept and all that. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Like children, they have secrets from adults, just like adults. We don't talk about anything with children. They be sitting around playing and stuff. You think they little ears is picking up everything we talking about. They little ears. And they be talking amongst each other. Well, this happened and this happened. You have to listen to what your children are talking about. You never realize what kind of information that you can get from them that could save another child from shit like this. That can get, you can get help for them when they little. And then, like this lady, she found out that Brendan had messed with her daughter. She found that out the day of that when she was gonna talk to Big Baby. All that kind of bullshit. Some people don't have boundaries. You know, if it's something they want, but everything you don't want, you don't always get. That's not for you. Like you might want a Lamborghini. Well, hell, I ain't got no money to get a Lamborghini. I might want one. But for me going out and getting one, nope. Same thing with sex. You might see a person and attracted to them, but that's not for you. You might want it, thinking in your mind, but that's not for you. I don't be. It's a lot of damaged people on YouTube. Um, they're in all sectors. You know, there's people that's been raised up in homes where it was molestation their whole life. The only way they got away from it is when they got old enough to leave and not raise their children around that person because that person hurt me when I was little. That's the reason a lot of people don't never go home. You know, they don't talk about home. Like with my family, my siblings, they want to come home. My little granddaughters and you know, they look forward to their cousins coming down. Uncle such and such. Well, I know he gonna bring my cousin, whatever. They might only get to see each other twice a year. And it's about having fun. It's not about perverted stuff. And like after that came out yesterday on Big Baby's channel, it was people, men and women, purging and saying things that happened to them when they were children. It brought a whole bunch of shit out. And it was still bringing the shit out when I left from over there and came over here and seen VS was live. It was people like saying they didn't tell those 30 secrets to their parents until they got like 35. It was people over there saying, I told, but nothing was done. Didn't nobody do nothing. I did tell when I was a kid, but nothing was done. So I didn't tell nobody else because the person I trusted that could help me, they didn't. It was people that was going back to their child, men and women in the Mo3 sector yesterday. It was people that they finally told their mama or daddy when they got in their 30s and their parents having a hard time because that monster did this to my child. You see what I'm saying? They child was too scared to say anything because this was the babysitter they dropped them off with every day so they could go to work. And you think about your child at 35 coming to you crying like a baby, saying, this what happened to me. I was too scared to tell it because that was the babysitter y'all dropped me off to every day so y'all can go to work. It's trauma everywhere. It's women that don't touch and hug their children because stuff got like that got done to them when they was kids. And that's why they standoffish and closed off to their own children. Because they don't want to be considered a pervert. And some of these kids have to comfort the parent. These grown children have to comfort their parent. And then the child, you got to tell the child, this is why I haven't been so affectionate for you, because this happened to me when I was affectionate when I was as a child. It's fucked up. And the shit was so heavy, I just could. This is the first time I'm telling my part, my role to being in that sector to hear that shit. Because like I said, it's grown men and women have come out in different lives saying this happened to me when I was a kid. Yeah, I told it. Or like Gina. Gina is still the hurt child of when her uncle did that to her. Gina had to be around that man her whole life. That man just died a couple of months ago. Now she knowing the booger man, he can't come and get her no more. But you think about her, the man did that to her when she was like 13, and now she in her 50s. And the booger man family's gone. You got to be around this person at funerals, at holidays. And she said, they didn't do nothing to him. They sent him to St. Louis. What the fuck? Sent him to jail. He still got to come home, sit around drinking and laughing and merry. And she over here, she feel like her family turned against her. I see why she's so goddamn mean. Because she said they didn't do nothing to him. All they did was send him to another state. And she had to be around that man her whole fucking life. They just swept it under the rug. And she's very angry about it, and I don't blame her. I'd be very angry with my mother and with my father and my grandparents. I'd be fucking mad at every goddamn body. Y'all didn't do shit. So I'm acting as ugly as I want to. And say whatever the fuck I want to say. I get her. I get her now. And she still don't feel safe. Now, all she knows, I ain't got to worry about seeing my uncle that did that to me at 13. Because I know he gone. He ain't just moved to St. Louis. But you just think about all them years that woman had to live through that. And my mom and my daddy and my grandparents didn't protect me when I was 13. That's a lot of fucking years. And that's a lot of fucking tears. Kudos, Gina, that you still on this earth. You know, hopefully you can work yourself out of the darkness now that man gone. And maybe you can have a happy life now that you know the booger man ain't gonna come get you. Because I know there was a lot of shit to live with for your whole fucking life. And like a couple of months before that man died, one of her grandfathers died. And she was happy. I guess because, you know, you didn't do shit but send him to St. Louis. You know. And I think she just like, in her mind, just willing down because they getting older and as they pass away. Well, I know that one, you know, I know that one. I told that one and he didn't do shit, so I don't give a damn if he died. You know, I think that's how her mind is going. And like I said, that was a lot of pressure to live under your whole fucking life. You got to smile, be around this person. and violated you. So, like I said, I didn't want to get real heavy with it. I'm trying to keep it G as possible because there's a nasty, nasty bullshit. But like I said, it needs to be talked about because it's more. Just think about how many kids that's under it up now, or what's going through it now. Just think about it. It's something that you don't want to talk about, but the shit need to be talked about. And children should be feel safe enough to tell somebody that's gonna believe them. And something need to be done because if it's not, it's gonna happen over, and it's gonna be happen over, and it's gonna happen over through our generations when it can be nipped in the bud and save other people in the future, like other children, or you don't date that person. What if you wind up? Just think about it. You wind up with one of them monsters and bring them up in your house. You ain't knowing about none of this sick shit that's creeping around in their brain because they've been tarnished. Just tarnished. Z, I'm talking about that now. And like I said, I'm trying to keep it as nice because it's not nice. It's nasty, ugly, filthy. But it need to be talked about because that's some heavy shit. And it was emotions running like people last night, all day. Different people that has been traumatized have come up on these panels and talked about it. What was done to me, and as a girl or a boy. And I'm 40 years old now, and I'm finally telling my parents. Well, I know you don't like, but that's just the way, that's the belly of the beast. When you tell things on here, like I don't tell shit to nobody on here because it's going to be used against me. And like I said, the people that was emotional in this topic that's hot in the Mo3 sector right now, they're going to be punished for coming out saying this happened to me. Because people have been purging and saying this happened to me when I was a little girl, or this happened to me when I was a little boy. People are going to use that against them in the future. And I already know it, you know. And when I was seeing different ones coming on the panel saying these things, I was saying this shit is going to be, they're going to be saying, well, that's why your brother F'd you and all that. That's what's going to be used. And it is what it is. It would be a boys and girls. When they not boys and girls, they grown as people. But it was throwing them back into that trauma. A lot of these people they was vulnerable. I just put it like that. It was a lot of vulnerable people on YouTube all night long last night. And they was telling their horror stories. Actually telling, And I hate that they did. It might have helped them feel better now, but it's going to come back to bite them. Because like I said, these people was going back until they right back there. Even though they got to live with this shit every day, it was like just raw. And then, like I said, people saying, well, I just finally told my mother, and I was 35 years old when I finally told my parents. And that this was the babysitter that did to me. And I had, and y'all dropped me off over there such and such days a week. So that's getting done to your baby all them days a week. And you had no clue as a parent. You taking them to the monster. Even though they might be cool and he at the door, when you drag it in your car and drive out, the monster come out. And that's what your baby was going through. It's just bad, y'all. It's like people that you know, you wouldn't imagine that this had happened to them. It was raw and uncut. Now, we talking about a different thing. Like the one you talking about is the one they say that Brandon did it with. She was grown, but they was raised as cousins. I explained all of that earlier. I wish you would just, because you can red ball it back, and you'll hear the conversation I had. Because, like I said, I'm from a step family. You have to be from a step family to understand some of this shit. Like my parents, my mother, and my stepfather. She had like 7 children, and he had 8. They was young widowers. Okay, they both had a house full of kids. They was with their mates, and their mates passed. Well, they cooked up and got married. Well, we was raised because see, I was one of the younger ones. Now they had teenage children down to young ones because I was 3 and my brother was 2. Then his smallest ones were 4. We was raised as brothers and sisters. We didn't know nothing about no step. I'm talking about as my age at 3. And I didn't know nothing when we got together. Like, ain't such and such. I didn't know that was my step. Ain't such and such. That was my auntie, and their children was my cousins. I'm just saying. You think about it. My mother got 7 kids. Her husband got 8, and then they started having children. We are not saying that's your step cousin. We're saying that's your cousin. What would they look like hooking up? My children and my stepbrother's children. No. Y'all cousins. And some people, well, actually, they're not kin. Fuck, they are to me. They ain't got no business looking at each other like that. In the whole of God green earth. Ain't nobody gonna tell them they step. They ain't gonna understand it as children. I didn't understand that. Whatever. I heard all kind of fucked up excuses and from people that I never thought that I would hear that from. But maybe they're not used to step families how they go. Because we don't say that's my step auntie Paulette. We just say that's Aunt Paulette. That's how we was raised to address them. We was dressed to. We didn't teach them about no step and all that bullshit. We didn't understand that shit till we got older. About the step stuff. And like I said, I was 3. And my parents, they was together till they died. My stepfather died like 2 years before my mom. But we wasn't raised like that, no steps and shit. That's my brother, that's my sister. And my kids address my stepbrothers and my stepsisters as aunt and uncle such and such. You know, that's thrown that's thrown out with out the window. Yeah. Oh, I slept with my cousin. I can't talk. Oh, okay, girl. Well, see, that's you. But why would you pursue your cousin when all these other women out here, George? Other women, that's because they was available. Is that why you slept with your cousin? Because I'm trying to see why would you, out of all the people in the world. Now he said, but step cousin, that don't matter. When y'all raised as cousins, were y'all raised as step cousin? I never heard of step that kind of shit. Or was you just sitting around waiting long enough for somebody to say, oh, that's your step cousin, or that's your step auntie? Like I still call, they just my aunties and uncles and sisters and brothers. Ain't no step in the shit. And some people marry their cousins, married into the family. It doesn't count. I don't know, George. I can't. On your situation, I can't talk to you about it because I don't know the extent of how y'all situation went. I really can't. But I'm just talking about with my situation, the way what I was raised, which I was 3 years old when my mother and my stepdad married. Now I knew he was not my dad, okay? Because I knew my dad. But like when we was raised up, we were just raised as sisters and brothers. We didn't. I wasn't raised as my step brother. I would just call them my brothers and sisters, and my children would call them their aunts and uncles. My uncle had a stepdaughter when he married his. So the lady, your uncle married a woman that had children, looks like my mother did. So you start messing around with the daughter? George, you start messing around with your uncle's stepdaughter. Married or born, we family. I don't care about blood. See, that's the way I was raised. Because it was, like I said, mama had 7 kids and my stepdaddy had 8. But see, I was one of the younger ones, even though there were teenagers. Now, because it could be different tiers to this level. Because if you're a teenager, well, I know that's not my daddy, and I know that's not my mom, or I know that's not my biological sister. So I can see, but I can't see. Okay? Because see, then none of my brothers mess with none of my cousins. And then none of my sister mess with none of my cousins. Hey, man, dog, no good. But it's hey, it's some people can do that kind of shit and some people can't. Okay. Um, family, yeah. We like I said, my mother had 7. My stepdad had 8 children when they got married. Now it was teenagers all the way down to like my brother was 1, I was like 3. Then I have a step brother. He's the youngest on their side. He was like 4. So my baby brother, me, and Fred, my stepbrother. I didn't see him as a stepbrother. We was raised as brothers and sisters. We played together, got in trouble together. We did everything as a team, a family. And when they got grown, and I got grown, and I started having children, and my stepbrother and other ones was having children, they was cousins. Because we be around each other all the time. On holidays, 4th of July, Christmas, we was all together. No, you ain't broke no law. I ain't in it. But I know that it wasn't never no, my kids didn't go with my stepbrother kids, even though they actually not kin. My children didn't date my steps kids. And that's just the point blank period. It ain't gonna be none of that. That ain't gonna happen. Cause somebody gonna get hurt. You know. So the barbecue gonna be a blood BQ. It ain't gonna be none of that. That ain't even thought about. Well, George, I ain't going into that. Well, and like I said, it's all kind of ways that can go, but I'm just saying the way my situation go and the way it is, no. And then there's too many rabbit holes go there. Just like the reveal that big babies, that's a big rabbit hole, and it never went on around me. That, with so many people getting that done to them. So many people got abused. There's no other word for it than abuse. It was predatory. The bigger ones picking off the little ones. Fuck that. And like when Brandon went live last night, he was out to eat somewhere. And he was like, he was like, me can't be bothered. He was just blowing the interview that Big Baby had all the way off. Very little conversation on it. And when he went live, very little conversation on it. He was more a matter. He was like throwing blows at Mahia because Mahia had a good panel. His panel was one of the panels. Some of the people that was grown were coming out and saying this was done to me when I was a child. I didn't tell my mama or my daddy until I was 35. And it was men and women up there. Um, Gina was like on the panel and I don't believe it. No, no, no. She was like, no, no, no. But like I said, when Gina told when she was a child, the only thing they did to her uncle was send him from like California to St. Louis. But of course, they had get togethers throughout the years, and Gina had to constantly see this person. Like on holidays, that man still got to come around her. Her feelings wasn't taken into consideration. Gina feels that no one listened to her when she told. Gina is still mad because that man was not punished. He was a older uncle. Now she was a child now, but this man is. This was like a man, or he was either a man or right at a man when he started fiddling around with her. I understand why Gina is so mad and angry because she still is that child in her mind Didn't nobody listen to. All they did was send him to another state. That's why Gina is so mad all the time. Now her monster finally died a couple of months ago. So she know that monster, but she never got to worry about seeing that monster again. But she still got a lot of anger because didn't nobody listen to her as a 13-year-old telling what my uncle has been doing with me. She told, yeah, they was throwing it every holiday or whatever. They was throwing it in her face because this man got to still come around her from 13 years old until a couple of months ago. Now, I'm sure when she got grown, she didn't have to be around him. She know if we go to Uncle such and such house, they celebrating over there, he might come. She had a choice either to be there or not, you know. So, you know, like I said, I'm glad that didn't have to go through that. I understand her more because if you just think about it in common English, this person going around and you didn't do nothing to them, it seems like you're being punished as the child every time they come around. You're reliving it every time. Or like when the phone rings, hell, he might be on the phone calling to see how your daddy doing. Or might be calling for you. You never know what a sick ass person that would do that to a child. You never know what that man did. And hopefully Gina don't go into that shit on YouTube. She's open enough about that. But I was just surprised that she's so much like on the predator. She don't see him as a predator at all. She's saying, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Concerning the storyline with Brandon and Big Baby there. I'm not saying nobody did this. I'm not saying nobody didn't do it. I wasn't there. And if you are a child, how can you prove this person did this to you? That's why they have psychologists and stuff for that. When a child do tell, they can tell if it's the truth or if it's a lie. You know. Yeah, the biggest insult is if it's true. I'm not gonna be on nobody's side. What I look like trying? Well, I believe him. No. Will I believe her? No. I got to figure this shit out in my mind, and this shit got real heavy on me yesterday. But like I said, it was some good laughs and some things that was discussed needed to be discussed. I've noticed a lot of the people that have been traumatized that have come out and been said this happened to me when I was a kid. I haven't seen them in any chats and on any panels. They stand all the way away from this shit because they don't want to relive this shit. You know, it's pretty deep. I'm telling you guys. You know, hey Sugar Shay, hey Panda Stay Ham, hey Pastor Nine, hey Coswell. What happened to Papa? Did he go to jail? Papa. Nobody been to jail. Hey Octavia, yeah, Coswell. Ain't nobody went to jail. These people getting to walk around here, they die, girl. You know what I'm saying? It's the dirty little family secret, child. Okay. But I'm telling you, it was people hunted. YouTube streets was hot last night. Like I said, there was a lot of people that had been victimized as children was coming up on panel saying this happened to me. And I didn't tell my parents until I was like 35. And then it was trauma. Like, why you didn't tell me? And, ooh, it was bad. Grown folk, they was breaking down. Hey Z, what up though? Yeah, gorgeous Joy. I wish you would have been around out here moving around and seen some of them panels I seen on. It was pretty heavy last night. Hey Mad Max. Hey CEO little boss lady. Ooh, child. Hey E babe. I think I got everybody. Hey peoples. Rex, you been good or you been out here raising hell? Hey Bill, thank you for coming through. Yeah, I ain't gonna say if the person did it. I ain't gonna say if they didn't. I'll never know. Hey, Big Stacks, I will hope like on my children, I only have two, but I would hope that they if something like that happened to them, I hope that they feel comfortable enough to come to me. If they told me something at this point in my life, I would be very angry. I would be very hurt. But we'd have to work through this shit. Okay? And how I might work through this shit, you'll see when it happens. I don't know what my emotions will be. Because you don't know unless you get there. You know, I don't know how I would react. Because my kids are grown. I got grown granddaughters. It would take me back to whatever time they told me that happened. It would take my mind back there because I'm not going to look at my child. I look at them as my children, no matter they are grown. Them still my kids. I don't know how I react if something come and told me some bullshit like that at this age. I probably would do something fucking crazy. I'd lose my goddamn marbles. Because them still my goddamn kids. And why, if a child come to you, why wouldn't you go to the authorities? There's nothing to fucking hide. I wouldn't give a fuck what happened to you. If you did that to my kid, I wouldn't give a damn. Even though they grown, so what? Them my babies. Them is my babies. And I know I'd probably break somebody's neck. I know I would. I would believe them. I believe my damn kid. Hey, Tootsie, I would believe my child. Even though they grown. I would be hard to deal with, Pastor Nine. And Pastor the church can't fix everything. You know? Some things I can't pray about. Yeah. It is a lot of trauma uh, on YouTube. I'm not saying no kind of sector or nothing like that. It's a lot of fucked up trauma on these streets. You know. And if it's something that's really too heavy for you and you can't take it, exit stage left and find somewhere else to go for right now. Till this shit settle down Yeah, pray for the children. There's a lot of kids like the foster children and things like that. They stuck with monsters, and then some of them go from one monster to another goddamn monster. You know, because they get pulled out of houses all the time. You know, and they send you to another fucking monster. Yep, alcohol and drugs. Yeah, a lot of these grown people that's you know, yeah, I'm talking about be drunk all the time or high all the time. It, you don't know they trauma. You don't know what they've been to. Because doing drugs ain't the first thing a person want to do. Hey, what do you want to be when you get to be? Grow up an alcoholic. Or what do you want to be? A crackhead? No. Kids want to be doctors and lawyers and nurses and a teacher. They don't never say they want to be a dope addict. They don't never say I want to be a thief. Just think about it. You know, nobody want to be no dope addict or no alcoholic when they get grown. You don't never hear no kids say that. It's the reason that they go to those things. You know, they want to try find something to ease my mind. You know, for a little while. You know, I get it. Okay. Now, child, let's get off of that bullshit. Now, I gave that enough time. Okay, now I went to Cant. He don't go live a whole lot, but he do go live. He been going live lately, and Mink was the hot topic on this live. Well, she hit, you know, she have been hitting panels ever since she been going through that Shaun G situation, like that breakup. She settled down a little bit, but she was hitting panel after panel after panel after panel, and a lot of people was going at her, which Mink have been going through a lot of people. She been going at a lot of people, getting into it with a lot of people for a long time. Well, now that she have a scandal with Shaun G, when these different people that she been into it out in the streets throughout the years, they see she kind of weak right now, and she getting her head worked over everywhere she go. Well, a lot of people are complaining, saying it's dog piling and this and that. What I'm saying is, like it's for any sector to get a turn. It's Mink's turn now. Especially being a YouTuber, you know, that's out there in the streets and, you know, have different storylines and this and that and this and that. You're going to be eventually be the storyline. You know, and is she the storyline now? She had a good run, you know, in the Mo3 sector for years. And now, like I said, the past is catching up. And no, I can't make it no cleaner. It ain't no dog pile when you've been piling on first. You know, and all the people that's going at Mink right now are people that she have been going into it in the past. And they see she's got a weak point right now, and they're going to get her. And that's what they've been doing. You know, there's not a whole lot of panels she can hit, but the ones that she do hit, she getting it. One thing that with the Mink situation that disappointed me is that how her crew didn't come out in these streets and fight for her. You know, now I seen that. You know, a blind person could see that. Now some coming out a little bit now. Book he back out. You know, like every time he sees Shaun G on a panel, he jumps up there. Now I'm good. I'm good to see that. But Book is going through his own trials right now. Um, his trials is with the Christina. You know, they supposed to have been together for the Valentine's Day and in love and You know, the Valentine Day flowers and all of that. Well, that shit is over now. I found that out yesterday. Um, I don't know the core of their problem with their relationship, but right now they are no longer a pair. And allegedly, with this breakup, allegedly Book had asked Christina for 3,500. Now what he needed it for, I don't know, but she didn't give it to him. Now he was bringing Shaun G name up into this situation about the money. Now I don't know if she was trying. He was trying to get the money from Christina to get her Shaun G. I don't know what the fuck, but I was saying, how the hell Shaun G name come up into something that Book need? I couldn't get that. Christina, I can't think of who panel it was on. Was it Captains? Yeah, Captains. Now it was a guy up there that was supposed to be a guy that she was seeing, or they had dealings, and he was up there to keep Book, letting Book know in so many words. I got Christina back. Now I don't know how Book is gonna react to that. I haven't been everywhere that they be going, so I don't know. I don't know if her and the guy still together, or if he there for moral support in case you need me. If this man attack you, I'm gonna jump up in it. It's something like that, you know. And the guy seemed to be knowing her. He have been, they. I don't know if they cohabitate together, but it seemed like it's something like that. And I don't know what made Book and Christina break up. I don't know what happened, but they are no longer a pair at all. At Cam's that night, Cooling Cam was against Mink. Uh, Nurse K drug Book, and that's how it come out. That Book had asked for $3,500, and Cam and Nurse K, and they went against Mink. It was just a lot of damn fighting, honey. That was a good laugh. That's the kind of shit I like. Captains. Now, this is, I've already discussed him. I'm not going to be discussing that, what I discussed earlier. I'm discussing just the other shit that been going on his panel. Wu and Gina been into it. Uh, the captain and Asia was into it. Wu was into it with everybody. She got into it with everybody hit the panel because she's team captain right now. Uh, Wu P bombed him the other night, and they was, how they had them little shorts they put on, like the church singing or whatever, dancing a little, whatever, little, little, when they had the commercial breaks. I just put it like that. Well, the captain did one of those. Wu was up there. There was several people on the panel. It was a good live. Well, honey, I guess Wu wasn't getting the attention she needed, or what the fuck, I don't know. But when that little short thing went off, Wu had bent over, and she had the longest ussy and the longest, widest asshole I ever seen in my life. She had it up there on his goddamn screen. And Brandon stopped the live on YouTube, but child, it's over there on Twitch, and it was still up. I don't know why Brandon let Wu come up there, but she might P-bomb me anytime. I told Lemon about it last night. Because Lemon do have her over there sometime. And I told him, hey, beware if she come because she got that P bomb demon on her right now. He said, well, I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it. I say, well, just be careful, Lemon. And it is what it is. If she P bombing, that's between him and her. Because he like Woo. But I would keep my banner up if I was him. And y'all, when I get to, but I'm gonna get to Lack next, and I'm gonna tell y'all some gossip, child. Wait a minute. And Danny was over there. I like Danny because Danny, I like Danny a whole lot. I think I dropped her link the other day. She was thinking that Christina, she was saying all that shit that Book and Christina doing. She said it's a play, you know, and she was telling why she thought it was a play. I enjoyed myself. I enjoy myself every time I see Danny on the link because she dances and then she'll bend over with her butt up in the air and she could put like a drink on her butt and stuff like that because she got a big butt and she know how to make it work, like a drink on her butt. They used to talk about women like that. They could walk around with a drink on their ass. When I was a little girl, they would talk about certain women had big asses like that. And when I see Danny do that, it takes me back to when I first in my life heard about a woman that could put a drink on their ass. And I heard about that when I was a little girl, child. She did that the other night over there at the Captain's, and I enjoyed that. Now I'm going to Lex, y'all. He is my guilty pleasure. Do you hear me? Now Lex do an overnight show. Now he do come on sometime in the evenings and stuff, but normally he do a late night. Which I was over there. I think it was yesterday morning, and he said he had something for us to listen to, and I knew it was gonna be good because anytime he say something like that, I know it's gonna be good. Well, it was SD up there. SD. It was several guys up there. I think Shaun and the the first place I heard a little bit of this was at Reed's. But then when I got the Lex, I got to really hear about it. Well, when Reed played, he played a little bit. And he said, "Y'all, what this sound like?" And it was Asia giving somebody head. Okay, so that's how I got my interest perked over there at Reed's. Well, when Lex came on later on that night, he was talking about it and he was playing it. And SD then was up there on the panel because they had been talking. SD and this guy named Stone Cold or something. SD is a blood and Stone Cold supposed to be a crip. Well, they was into it. They were doing like a drug war. Like, I'm gonna kick your ass and I'll kill you. And no, they were doing all that kind of bullshit. And that gets old. Cause to me, they too old to be acting like they gang banging. Cause they supposed to be sitting up being the ones in position right now. They had them little bitty boys going out there doing that dumb shit they were doing the other night. But that's when they had a break from the pulling up. I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna do this to you and I'm gonna do that to you. Leck played like he had something for them to hear, and he said, "What did this sound like, y'all?" And he played it again. Now this first time Leck had played it, and SD then was up there, and then they was saying, "But goddamn, what is that?" And what they were talking like that. And then Leck would say, "I got some more. It's longer than that, but that's just the short version." And y'all want to hear it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They was like that. I was hollering. And so what happened was Asia was somewhere with a guy. but we didn't know it was a guy. But I know she was talking to somebody, and she said, "I'm finna call Brandon now." And so she called Brandon, and Brandon he was like, "Hello," and she's, "Well, you motherfucker, and you ain't shit, and you're doing this and you're doing that." He said, "What are you talking about? And you son of a bitch!" And she was just cussing him out, and then she hung up in his face. But when she hung the phone up, this man, I guess he just put thing in her mouth. And she was up, doing all that kind of stuff. And I was saying, my God. And you could hear going, you know, and stop. And it was just nasty, awful. And it went on and on. Now, Pizarro, I want to tell you this here. Now, you did that little sucking the peen thing on your birthday or whatever that time. Honey, what you did, that you ain't have shit on what Asia was putting on that man, child. Well, actually, what that man was putting on Asia, honey, because he had her go, she was doing all that, girl. So, Pizarro, you got to give us a better show of our imagination, because you was rated G, honey. Asia was rated XXX, honey. Oh, Lord. Wait a minute. And I have dropped the link over there on my community wall for that Lex Live. Lex so cool and laid back. So did he? Yes, it sounded like, because you said, "Oh my God, quick, stop," Oh my God, Lord Jesus. Y'all, Leck is my guilty pleasure. And Leck come up with a whole bunch of shit over there on his live. A lot of this stuff that be going on in the daytime, people going haywire, that shit started right there over there at Lex, y'all. The shit where you found out what these storylines form is over there at the captain's, because he keeps the street going, okay? He'll throw something out there, and it be hours and hours. You're going pound to pound. And Lack is another one. He put some shit out there on his channel at late night. Then he grow legs, and then he go on. But most of these channels do that because they want to keep a storyline to keep their channel popping. I understand it. Okay, Miss Paulette, I'm late, but why Jackie and Duck break up? I like them. It's just a lot of stuff. It was too much going against them. Now, the way I hope is that I hope that they relationship is closer than what they're showing on YouTube, but they're not bringing it on YouTube. Because see, when they was being active and like flirting and stuff like that, um, it that wasn't gonna work. It was too many people against them. I think it can work now, but like a year ago, no, because y'all seen how that went. The bando and all that, and the pictures, and it was just a mess. Okay, so right now is not quite a good time right now for them if they are trying to do anything, because Duck is in his troll mode. He is fully trolling right now. Okay, and right now would not be a good time to be flirting with him because he is full of shit. Okay, he on his best shit right now on trolling. Hey, Vino. Hey, Leonardo. But yeah, I think Duck is trolling too hard right now for him and Jackie to do anything. Because Hunter, the way he trolling, she'll be cussing him out. And I don't want to see them doing all that. But tonight, Big Baby on her live, it got out of control and the conversation was over. All this incest and SA, sexual abuse and all that. And it was crazy. Broadway was on the link. Duck was up there. Kareem, Jackie, China. It would, the panel would get full, and then they would be into it, and then some would drop off, and other people was coming up there. It was just out of control, that panel. But I had to get move around in the B sector because I got nosy on that VS and everything and DD Loop Loop. So I had to pull back out of the live. And so I don't know how it ended, but I did put it on my wall. Okay. And Big Baby was on Twitch and YouTube. So you can catch it on either one of those. I put both the links on the wall. Um, it was really, really something because like when the 88, I mean, Big Baby's Live first came on, it was more like people were like, expressing, their feelings, and it wasn't like harsh, okay? Well, Duck hit the goddamn panel, and Broadway hit the damn panel, and they was for, they were just, they wasn't babying nothing, you know. And why didn't she do this? And why didn't she do that? It was a lot of that. It was a lot of finger pointing, and I thought it was good that both sides was up there. They was very emotional, you know. Like, how do you know they telling the truth? And it's no proof. And they were just going back and forth, which it was good to hear both sides. You don't want to hear just a whole panel. Oh yeah, and I went through this, and you know, and not hearing the opposite side. Well, honey, you heard both sides over there, Big Babies, tonight. And I'm sure that line probably still going because that's a hot topic over there. But I'm going to be like kind of pulling back from over in that part right now. I really don't want to hear any more about that. So I'm going to be more active over in the B sector until this shit play down, you know. And then I was in other lives because, I be in some of the people that's on the gaming, do the gaming on Twitch, and the conversations that were being had in those chats, that people were saying, I am sick of this storyline. I don't want any more of this. I'm pulling back. So it's over in the gaming sector, the section of Twitch, the topics that are going on in the Mo3 sector concerning the abuse and stuff. So, it's spreading, because they have people from other countries and everything on the gaming sites. I got a couple people I follow on the gaming site, and I happened to see one of them was live when I was over my way over to BS's. So I clicked in, just to give them support that I did come through. And you on Twitch, when you go through in a page that you're visiting, if you stay there 5 minutes, they'll get like credit for it. I'm thinking like pay or something. Because I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff, but I did read up. Here's a link. I mean, one of them little question mark things one time, and it had that subject in the question mark thing, and it said you had to be in an actual live like 5 minutes for them to get credit. So, like when I do go on them quick lives, I just have a tab up else on YouTube so they can get credit while I'm somewhere else, you know. And then I go back later on and get out of it. But I'm just saying how I move. I be doing that a whole lot on YouTube. Different people that I'm subscribed to, I'll go in very quickly, say hi, but I'll leave and go somewhere else and leave the tab up so they can get money out of it. You know, it's just the way you do things. And I like doing that. And the people in to see what's going on in their chat. Child, don't we? Don't we? Hey, Lala's World. Hey, Price. Welcome. Child, y'all, I'm sitting here talking about the Mo 3 set, child, before I get out of here. Okay, let me see. Okay, now I'm at Lex. Well, I told you guys at Lex the other night, like, this is what got the ball rolling on the Brandon storyline right now, was at Lex. He put a picture on the screen, and it is one of them late night live, and they had this lady up there and a dog. Well, Lex said that lady was like kin to Brandon some kind of way. I can't remember his auntie or whatever, but it was some. He said, I'm not sure, but I think that this lady is such and such to Brandon. Well, later on, come to find out, some subscriber in the chat knew who that lady was on the panel and got into it with her, got in touch with her sister and let her know, child, they showing your sister picture over there on that page. That's a page I'm subscribed to. I guess the conversation went something like that. So that's what brought them people to the board. Now they not, as far as I know, they don't want nothing else to do with YouTube. They just want to tell what they had to say about Brandon. And as far as I know, they're not gonna be here. But they could be. They might want to be a content creator now, since they know you can make money on YouTube. I don't know. But I'm just saying, Black is my dirty secret. I watch him a lot. He like I said, he do get storylines going because I see him do it. He give, the streets something to feed off of, like Brandon do, like 88 do. So, and Reed, China, they pop off at different times, and I enjoy it because, like I said, the most three set to keep me busy, child. Let me see. Okay, last night, over in the late hours of the night, of course, I'm at Lex. When I went over there, though, 88 and Josh was into it. And I said, what the hell they into it for? And they got into it. It was something to do with 88 and Brandon's little girl. Um, I did not roll it back to see how it started, but I got to hear about what they both were saying. And what they were saying, they was into it because CB supposedly had tried to take 88 daughter from her and Brandon. And they were arguing about that. And then Brandon said, talking about how many guys that 88 sleep with and stuff. And I think herpes came up or something like that, or HIV or something came up. And Josh say, let me see your mind chart. And I'll show you mine. I want you to pull it up right now. And this and that. And they say, I will. And then people in the chat were saying, she just put on my chart up on her community wall. And Josh was saying, I want to do it right here on live. And it's so she clean. And so, and they say, I ain't got no problem with that, nigga. I pull mine up, but you pull your shit up. And because I ain't messing around with nobody with no HIV and no herpes and this and that, and this and that. And she pulled hers up and showed it that she was clean on everything. But then it's Josh's turn. Josh got into it with some guy. He was into it with several people. And he was saying, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. Show me yours, nigga. And they were saying, hell, I ain't into this bit. That's between you and 88. What I got to do with it? And I bet you won't show me yours. And it seemed like Josh was ass dragging, which he actually was. He was pulling out the suspense. Well, he finally showed his. He was clean for everything, including HIV, which we already know CB has. So they are practicing safe sex. Okay? So I get them cool. Do what y'all do. And I hope everybody stay clean. Okay? But that tripped me out to go in there and they was arguing about that. Wait a minute. Okay, now it also came out that Big Babies, uh, she had found a post from Brandon on Tag, some kind of website. And I be saying, how do you people be finding this shit on different people? And plus, they don't be using their names they use on YouTube. How do they find these people? Well, the reason that he came up on like Big Baby's thing is because Big Baby was, she used to travel, okay, go different places. And if she would be in like Seattle, she'll say, hey y'all, I'm in Seattle right now, and people in Seattle can contact her. Well, allegedly, Brandon was one of those people. And the name he had was Broadway M. And he was asking, could he buy some? No, how much it would cost him to get some. And I was saying, what? And so this was like 3 or 4 years ago, around at least 3 years ago. And so she was throwing out them receipts and things like that when she got out of jail. And once he got through explaining about that, then he came up with all these other allegations. Okay. Uh, that storyline didn't go very long. It didn't even last 24 hours. Um, and then Big Baby said she had a whole lot more shit on Brandon. So now it's the incest stuff. And then she was showing receipts today of some stuff, but see, I didn't get to see those receipts. I think it's something to do with the girl, the lady that found out her daughter, that he had messed around with her daughter. It was some receipts from them, from like the daughter, the mama, concerning Brandon. But I didn't get to see all of that. I just got to see a little bit of that. Okay, they also played him, Brandon, at, well, you know that Leck had played them messages that Brandon called the police on Isha and Mr. Houston, which is her husband. You know, Brandon getting it from several places, but these are people that he have been into it. So it's kind of look like maybe they dogpiling on him, but actually they are desperate responses to shit he have said to them before. So they getting their lick back right now. Cause everything that look like it's, if it look like it's a pile up a lot of times, it's actually not one. It's actually you've been out here swinging on everybody, and now the people are swinging back, and they ain't got to contact each other to say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to drag the hell out of Brandon." It don't work like that. It's just now it's my time to strike, because one person can't get to do all the hitting and don't never get hit back. Okay, Mink was over at Lex, and she had got into it with Candace, and Cupcake. Mike got into it with this a new character unlocked. And his name is Zoogang, and Zoogang fell out the clouds. I think it was in Lex one night. It was somewhere, and he started hitting panels. And of course, didn't nobody know who this person is that's been hitting these panels. And every panel he would go to, they would have to give him the old Mo3 welcome. Who are you? Who sent you? Where are you from? And do you know such and such? Well, this man knows a whole lot about Mo3. Mo3 sector. He has been in the clouds for years. He just decided to drop down at the cloud. and they gave him a grilling everywhere he went, and he answered their question in a snap of a finger. So he been around. You could tell when new people come into they just pop out of the clouds. If if they don't answer you know they lying about being up in the clouds for years. Because if you ask people if they was there, certain things that go on in these sectors, you could tell how long a person been there. And they grilled the shit out of him everywhere he went. Now he's being more received because they know he have been around here. He ain't telling no lie. This ain't something he just repeating like a parrot. This person have been in the Mo3 sector, but it's a lot of people in the clouds in all of these sectors. They have never dropped down, never commented, never hit a panel, but it's a whole bunch of people that's sitting right up there in them clouds, and they seeing everything that go on, seeing everything. And you could tell the ones that have been, and you could tell the ones that's lying. Because they like recite it, It's certain things and they say it over and over the same way every time. And they don't know nothing that's around this storyline. I used to think the B sector was the only sector that do that, but no, it's on all of them. You know, it used to be more closed. Like the B sector was closed for years as far as new characters because they grilled the hell out of anybody new that came to like Pizarro, came to like Nichols or the Breeze. They grilled them. But they don't do it as bad now. But there has been talk that they're going to go back to doing some things like they used to. And with VS moving around in the B sector now, I could see it. VS had never liked avatars. You know, she don't believe him. Now her mind is opened up some to him, but I don't think she'll ever just open her mind up to her avatar. She don't even trust Pizarro, Sir King, they are never gonna come out the cloud. I mean, out of behind their avatars, unless they get a camera slip. Sir King had a camera slip years ago. Y'all, child. They say Gina was up there talking all kind of shit on somebody found about Mink having a nasty house. Was talking about how nasty and just being ugly about it. Child, she fucked around and had a camera slip. They say it looked like a goddamn bomb it went off in her house. It was bullshitting everywhere. She got her nerve because when she was doing all that talking about me everywhere she would go, I would say, how's she gonna talk about anybody as nasty as her house is? Feel they getting on them links, going all around. But she hit the wrong link at the wrong time and had a camera slip. And I think they said it was in her bedroom. Okay, Big Baby, wait a minute. Okay, I already talked about that exposing Captain. And when she was dropping receipts, when she was doing them Broadway M receipts the other day, uh, he was, uh, Brendan was trying to get home to Texas from Washington back when he hung around with Big Baby and Jackie. Uh, he like sent the price for a bus ticket from Washington The bus trip, if he would have went to Texas at that time, it would have took 59 hours on the bus, and the ticket would have been $534. Now, to me, that's a whole lot to pay for a bus ticket when you could fly. But for some reason, he don't want to like catch a plane. He always want to be on a bus. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's a method to his madness. The other day, they also showed it came out that when the captain went to see Anella some months ago, uh, SD bought it out that the girl had been drugged by Brandon. Well, Big Baby played some of the video showing her tripping out real bad. And they said it was because Brandon had put some mushroom powder or something in her joint. And she had a reaction to it and like talking out of her head, which some people do. Because, I told you guys, I never really, smoke weed because he used to make me hallucinate. I'd see all kind of shit. I'd see elephants, ghosts, whatever you name it, I seen it. Okay, so it have different effect on different people, so that ain't, I know I can't handle weed because I tried it when I was young. I'm serious, I would hallucinate. You could get some grass out the ground and roll up and tell me that's some weed, I was gonna trip hard, okay? I think it was like a mind thing with me. Cause why come ain't nobody else seeing no shit I'm seeing? And the love of my life, I used to like smoke weed with him sometime, and I would tell him, I can't do this shit. It's gonna make me trip out. And he said, "Come on, baby, go on and hit it." And I would hit it like a fool, and I would act the biggest goddamn fool. And he was like, "I ain't gonna make you do that no more. I ain't gonna make you do that more." Then he wait about 3 or 4 years. Come on, let's do this and do this. And of course I'd do it. And of course I'd act the biggest goddamn fool. That's so stupid, ain't it? But when you in love, you do a lot of things you wouldn't normally do. And that's something. That was what I would do with him every couple of years, child. And I would say, I'm a trip out. You don't like me like this. You don't want me to do it. No, come on, just hit it 2 times. And of course, what I do, I hit it 2 times. And 1.2 later, I'm climbing the damn walls, running from ghosts. Yeah, but I sure missed that man. Okay, now I'm at 357s. I was over there one night. Oh, Jackie had got her channel and started a channel, and she lost it the same day. So, like she said, what she probably do is make a new channel every month and let it get, and she knows it's gonna get snatched, but just open it up and do her a good live and then just let, heck away with you. I'll be glad if she did do that. There's somebody out there that don't like her, and honey, every time she open a page, they strike it down. I think she could probably make it on Kick longer. I don't know about Twitch, but YouTube is all the way out. Okay, now 357 went live, and he was dragging MHB, and he said that MHB had got demonetized, and I didn't know that, but I hadn't been by MHB. Now this was right after 88 got out of Big Baby got out of jail, and when she came on his live this night, she was her and her girlfriend. Now I don't know if it's her girlfriend, or it's like a girlfriend, just you and me as girlfriends, or if it was like a relation wise. I can't figure if it's that. If it's that, but the girl have been on her lives a couple of times. Maybe I'll figure it out. Big Baby and Royalty Rain got into it. And why they don't like each other, I don't know. I like Royalty. Yeah, but some people don't like Royalty Rain, but I like them. Okay, now I was at Reed's one night. Now I go by there too. Now he come on a lot of times in the daytime, several times. You know, when I was over there this day, Cupcake and China and Beezy was into it with Gina and Emil's. You know, Gina just like to act the fool everywhere she go. Well, honey, that day they wasn't for it, and they tore her ass up. And when they was into it, Gina phone was acting up again, and her mic wasn't micing. And I don't know at certain time of the month, it seemed like Gina phone started acting up. I don't know what's going on. And then Emil's, he was into it with them, and they was dragging the hell out of him. They told him he got an Adolf Hitler uh, mustache. They were calling him Adolf. And I was hollering. Okay, and I went by Bimps, and Bimp, he had like NASCAR, Vato, Fontana, Cooling, just to name a few of the people. And Fontana, he don't really be knowing nothing about what the storyline be, so he makes his own storyline up. And the one he had, it was all the way wrong, all the way backwards, and they just got tired of him. And they just bought him down. Whole thing. Cooling was into it with Mink and Danny. Eve was into it with Cooling. Free T drug China. DJ got into it with Danny. Duck got in. He was into it with Gina and Free T. Sweetest Brown. Now this was so funny. And Room Shake was on the panel, and one of them said something about Swedish Brown, like I ain't seen her lately or whatever. Well, honey, Swedish Brown fell out that damn cloud, and she cussed them out so bad, and she went right back to the clouds, y'all. I was hollering. Swedish come down and blah, 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 and she went right back up to the clouds. She didn't give him a chance to say nothing back. That was funny. Jackie was into it with Free T. Now, this was on Bimp's Live a couple of days ago, and that was a good live. If you ain't got nothing better to do, you want to have a good laugh, go over there and pull that link. Bimp link is on my community wall too, but Bimp always have a good live. And when they be into it, with the different people on his panel be into it, and they be saying Bimp, and he be saying, that's you breaking rule number whatever. Don't ask Bimp nothing. Okay, now my hair had to laugh. He was talking about the incest and all of that. Now he wasn't for it or against it. He was trying to be unbiased. Like I said, different people sending the link and they telling about their trauma and things like that. It was a great live. Uh, I had fun. I enjoyed my ass. Okay, now before that live, a couple of days before, he had went live, and now this is what they were saying over there, that Mink had like 20 discords. They for different things. Wu Kim had hit the panel, and she told a lot of things that regarding Mink, because she used to be real cool with Mink and stuff, but now they're not cool. And so she was just spilling her beans on what she knew about Mink. And I know her and Woo Kim haven't been friends in a long time. And Woo Kim is not a person that just hit panels. And so everybody was listening with, their ears to everything to get every detail of what Woo Kim was saying. And she's another one that is dragging the shit out of Woo. I mean, not Woo, dragging the hell out of Mink right now. And like I said, some people think it's a dog pile. It's not a dog pile. It's just people that Mink have been into it within the past, and they're all getting their lick back. I can't get it no plainer than that. They don't say nothing when other people getting dog pile. So why you saying something now? It should be something said about everybody get dog pile. The rules shouldn't change just because who you are. And I went by Mink's yesterday morning, I think it was. The days get kind of fuzzy. It hasn't been very long ago. I just put it like that. And yeah, I guess who done crawled out their cage? Naima. Okay. So she back out here on the board right now. Who give a fuck? And Danny went live. And it was, I love her when she go live. I like her when she on panels. Well, of course, this live went fucking haywire. I was up there and Mink was up there. So Mink was getting to talk about what was going on with her. Well, dun 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 dun. Eve hit the link. And she drilled the hell out of Mink. I ain't gonna tell no lie. Mink, I'm crazy about you and everything. But Mink didn't even really fight back. She just left. And Eve kept right on dragging. And she had that dragon spirit on her. And she wanted to drag. And she was going from one conversation to the next. Okay? Eve was on it. I like to hear Eve drag too. Because she be coming up with some shit. Now with Eve and now Danny, she went live on that live. You don't like to hear Mia out. I mean, hear Mink out on her situation or whatever she want to talk about. And they was doing that, but then of course Eve kicked in the door, and honey, she wasn't hearing none of that. So Danny, you got your hands full. Just be open like you are to both of those ladies, because both of those ladies like you. I hope you guys don't fall out because I think y'all got good chemistry. Even though Mink and Eve into it right now, if they wasn't into it, that would have been a great panel. But like I said, Eve wasn't hearing that shit. She crashed that party. And maybe you and Danny can do it another day. Give you a safe place to talk. That's all you've been asking for anyway. But Mink, just remember this. Everybody's not going to believe you. No matter how many lies you say people are telling on you, you can't make the people change their mind. So I would just lay off of that a little bit. Y'all, people just don't have to repeat you, believe you. So to me, you fighting a losing battle on trying to correct shit, and but that's a lie, and all of this and all of that. Cause either they gonna believe you or they not. You're not gonna be able to change nobody mind on nothing. And I think once you figure that shit out, Mink, I think you'll get right back in the old Mink that we used to. Because the Mink we got right now, I ain't used to this one at all. And I don't like her. Okay? Because you shouldn't have started us out with the old Mink. You need to get back in the saddle and ride that horse proudly and do you. Okay, you can do a little nicer to you, but this one we got. You talking like this? Okay, I don't like this one. Okay, it's hard, but you need to come out of this slump. It's been over a week. And now enough is enough. Okay, man. Just making sure I got everything so I can get out of here. And y'all, I wonder is Envy gonna apologize to Deidre? I know I'm missing something right now. I'm just ran breezing through my notes one more time, and I'm gonna get the hell up out of here. I think that's it. Thank y'all for spending some time with me, child. Yeah, I got everything. Okay. Hey, Roger Brain, that's my girl right there. Let me see. Hey, prettiest eyes, child. See who else. I'm making sure I speak to everybody. Then I'm getting the hell up out of here. I sound like your mama. I think I got. Hey, OG Beauty, welcome. Hey, ATL Pink Face. I seen you on up on somebody panel today, and I can't think of whose it was. Was it the captains? It was somebody panel. I seen you up there on. I didn't put it in my notes, but I did see you. Okay, make sure. Because I don't like to miss nobody, y'all. And if y'all haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to me, child. I'm trying to get to 3,000, child. Hey, Memphis Shiesty. Hey, Fries. I think that's everybody. And if you'd like to donate to my channel, please donate. There's my Cash App. Because some of this stuff I tell y'all, I know y'all haven't heard before. I try to give y'all some of that odd shit I like. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Now, y'all, I'm getting ready to get out of here because I know I'm missing some shit out here in this YouTube sphere. And I don't like to get behind on things. But you know, if you blink your eye, you'll get totally lost. But I'm getting ready to get out of here. Ooh, cha. Envy, I think you done effed up and jumped in the wrong end of the swimming pool, baby. You in too deep, child. You got to, I want to see if you going to sink or you going to swim, Envy. Ooh, cha. VS got a new toy to play with, Envy. And VS, oh, she played rough, baby. Ooh, cha. I'm getting ready to get back into that Mo3 sector. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.